It's funny. I Googled I'm doing a little bit of, one of the first things that pops up is Max McNown in a relationship? Isn't that, the internet is insane, dude. I didn't put that in, by the way. I just put your name in.
Fun fact, and this may be a spoiler for a lot of people that have hopes, but I'm an engaged man.
You are? Let's go!
Yes, thank you.
That's nice.
And I get married very soon, and I think people were searching that, and somebody stumbled upon info. They found it online, info for my wedding, and people started commenting on my social medias, all of the info, date, time, location, everything of my wedding. So we had to hire security. So we're going to have...
So you didn't change the venue?
No.
So you're just... okay. So I guess you can tell us where you're getting married. Where are you getting married? You get married back home?
In Kentucky.
In Kentucky.
I won't be more specific than that.
No.
In case.
Is that where your fiance's from? Is that where her family is?
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah.
What, is it this year?
Yeah.
You're getting married?
Yeah.
Dude, you're... by my math, you're 24 years old.
Yeah. Your math is correct.
You got like big hits on the radio. You're playing sold out shows, and you're getting... married?
Getting locked in. Locked in.
Are you, sure?
Yeah. Yep.
I'm just kidding.
No,
I meet so many people over the years, particularly in country music, because we are family-based, it's all all of that stuff and how important that structure is.
Yeah,
and I
it's
get
a huge part of the music.
It really is. Yeah, I get it. Whereas like over in rock and roll, they're like, guys are scratching their...
Cocaine and strippers.
Cocaine and strippers, scratching their butts at like 39 going, maybe I should settle down.
Yeah, it's never really been, it's, call it a mix of just my born personality and also how I was raised. Yeah. It's just never been, it's never felt healthy to me to, just try to sleep around and, live it up, even though... It's kind of like the Spider-Man quote, with great power comes great responsibility. There's a lot of temptation on the road, and to be able to have somebody that I can trust and somebody that stays consistent, whether or not I play a good show, bad show, career goes up, career goes down, she'll always be there. And so that's huge for me, and I figured why not just bet on a lifetime at this point.
Bet on a lifetime. Mm-hmm. Maybe write
Sounds
that.
like a song. Yeah,
maybe write that down,
maybe.
Sir. Bet on a lifetime. That's pretty good. That's really nice, man. Level-headed, huh?
I try to be.
Where do you get that from?
Probably having my older brother out on the road with me. If I get anything, if I go crazy, he'll slap me silly.
Oh, that's why he looks so pissed off at you. It's like you're the little brother. Oh, I was like, okay, this dude's hardcore, but you're the brother. I have two boys. I now understand.
Yeah, I've got three brothers, and it was competitive out on just growing up in that environment. I wouldn't trade it for the world. It was so fun. But now to have him is just incredible. Sports?
Did you guys? Was it? Yeah. What was the sport? Was it football, baseball?
Football, baseball, basketball early on, and then everybody else grew and got faster, and I didn't. I just stayed the same. And so basketball wasn't really my thing. I got swatted one too many times and just called it quits. So I
hey man, you could play D. You could play tough D. I bet.
Oh, I was tight. I was up on them. I played
head on the ball, baby.
Yeah. My steal game was on point. But I ended up doing some track and field. So I was a sprinter. So those were kind of my primary in high school: track, football, baseball. But I just injured myself too much, and it's not like I was gonna. A lot of people, they tell their stories, and it's like, well, I was gonna go to college. I was a D1 commit, and I was
a lot of guys who sat in that chair across from me when I got cameras rolling. A lot of them who are on the radio have histories in high level athletics.
Yeah. So I'm just saying I'm not high level. That's all that to say. Many people are like, this was my dream. I was going to achieve it, and then my knee snapped in half. It was my dream. I wasn't going to achieve it, and then my knee snapped in half. Yeah. So it's a little different, but it ended up...
Did you actually have a knee injury?
Yeah, I fractured in 3 places.
Doing what?
Hyperextension. It was, I was actually playing baseball, and somebody had their foot across the first base bag, and I went to step on it, and my heel caught their leg, and then when I tried to recover, my leg extended and bent backwards, and so...
Is there video footage of this? Evidence?
No.
Good.
No video
That's
evidence.
Good.
I wouldn't want to watch that. Yeah, and then I did a similar thing, but I was diving home my sophomore year, and I broke my elbow, so... Yeah, sports are.
You go for it, though, man. It
amazing.
sounds like you're somebody that goes for it.
Absolutely.
I like that. And I bet you there's a lot of things that you learned in the world of sports, the discipline, the hard work, dealing with loss, dealing with, failure, dealing with all of those things, expectations, teamwork, all of those things that you can transpose over into the music industry.
Yeah. I remember a big quote that was huge growing up was flush it. Flush it. Like, just, if there's something that goes wrong, flush it and move forward. Like, if you strike out, if you whiff, if you watch a third strike come through in baseball, flush it, because the next at bat is brand new and you have to keep on trying. Yeah,
but I'm going to yell at you for a little bit if you look at a third strike. Don't go down swinging, man.
Well, you can yell at me, but just let me have another chance.
Yeah. No, it's good. I coach my son's baseball team, and one of the coaches on the team, and that is one of the things that we try and do. It's like it is so hard to throw a strike. It is so hard to hit a fast thrown ball. It's impossible to do if you're crying. It's impossible to do if you're beating yourself up over missing the last one. Impossible. You got to let it go. You don't have a chance. You're going to let your team down if you're doing that, right?
Is that the 15-year-old son?
That is the almost 14. That's the 13-year-old son.
Okay.
13-year-old
Are they throwing curveballs yet? No?
Yeah, they are. 13 at 13.
13 years old?
He's got my son. He doesn't throw heat, but he's got 5 pitches. He likes to tell everybody.
Okay. I saw my first curveball at 16. And shortly after was when I quit baseball.
Yeah, that is a very common time where people are like,
it was nasty. It was coming from my face.
Yeah,
and then I
and the coaches are like, stay in there, Max. What don't get out of the box.
Yeah, I'm like, you stand up here.
Those coaches, by the way, have never done it. I've never done it. I've never had to do it. I'm like, oh, stand lean back, man. Fall into the box.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Man.
What is your inspiration right now? What are you taking up? Obviously, you've got a lot going on in your life. People are really being drawn to your music. I believe it was am I right in saying the Toronto date was a big date because it was a sold out show? And that's a pretty major thing for you?
Yeah, I mean, the Canada dates in general were all pretty big deal to me, just because my fan base has been so welcoming and supportive here. Yeah. But Toronto being, I believe, the largest city. Yeah. To have 2 nights here is huge.
It's the third largest city in North America. Just letting you know that. Take that, Denver. Okay.
Yeah, and believe it or not, it's one of the largest fan bases in the world for me.
Yeah. Oh, it is Canada.
Yeah. So city for city, if you take into account all the cities, then the U.S. is number one for me. But but city,
you can't argue with numbers for sure. But
there's just too many
percentage-wise, though.
But yeah, percentage-wise, I mean, city for city, there's more fans in Toronto, Montreal.
Per capita kind of thing. When did you realize that was happening? When did you realize your music was kicking in Canada? I'm not trying to be too much of a homer here. Just like it must be kind of cool because you're doing your thing. Yeah. And I talk to a lot of Americans when they come up. They're kind of like, oh yeah, no, I'm really happy to see how the music permeated and it got out there. But when you realize, hey man, this is happening in another country. I know there's only I know we're connected. Yeah. But it's got to be kind of cool.
It was before I had played a show in my life. I saw it, and I think the first sign of it was comments on social media. Yeah. So both Canada and Australia were both, when A Lot More Free was hitting its initial, my breakout song was hitting its initial explosion, almost every comment on whatever algorithmic stream that song found its way into was, come to Australia, come to Canada. Love from Canada, love from Australia, I'm from Canada, yada, yada, yada. Yeah. It was those two, for some reason, way more than the U.S. Yeah. And still to this day, the cities are more... there's more fans than in the U.S. And I think it's largely due to social media. I mean, I could speculate on, the music genre itself and the style and maybe why that takes over here more than the U.S., but I also don't want to upset anybody.
Oh, no. I mean, look, you're going to get the warm embrace at home as well, but I just think sometimes when people are digging around, if they're real fans of the genre and they discover somebody that maybe is on the way up, that upward trajectory is going on, and it's not you're not a household name yet. They're kind of like they want ownership over that early adopters. We love them, man. Yeah. That's so nice. That must be kind of crazy, right? Like you're doing your thing, you write some songs in a room with some guys, and you realize...
And I'd never played a show before. When I wrote A Lot More Free and...
Never played a show?
Yeah, Better Me For You and A Lot More Free were written before I'd ever played a show in my life. It's crazy.
That is crazy.
Yeah, so we were just imagining. We're just like, oh, yeah, I think a crowd would like this. I don't know. Never seen one.
Man, that is like the definition of manifesting, isn't it? It's like, we're going to put this out there now. So it starts to pick up, and you realize people are liking it. Now you're like, I hope I can do that part of the job. Yeah,
in fact, that's something that it takes up a lot of thought space for me, because I have played so many shows, and naturally, and whether this is a good thing or a bad thing or neither is up for interpretation, but you write for your reality. You write for the rooms that you're in. That's typically kind of naturally, subconsciously how it goes. So I find myself writing more theater, large crowd songs right now, whereas I had a few of those, Better Me For You and A Lot More Free being very anthemic. I had a few of those, but that wasn't my base, and now it almost is starting to be my base, is trying to write bigger songs, and not big in the sense of will these perform better. It's like, how will these sound with a full band on a big stage in a big theater?
How will they sound live? Is a common filter that everybody puts their music through,
played,
for sure.
Now I've played 230 shows in the last 2 years. So
that's
it's
awesome.
like now live is all I know. Like, now I listen back to my studio recordings and I'm like, oh, I got some notes now.
Your live experience now affects the way that you record.
Absolutely.
That's cool, man.
Yeah. And it's subconscious. And I just kind of realize it based on listening to the songs I'm writing. I'm like, oh, this is happening. And I've been told that that's going to happen.
Yeah.
The
evolution, right?
What you don't want to do is start writing for other people for success. Like, that's one of the main things I avoid with all my heart. I try to still dig into myself to find the music, and I still make sure the concepts come from my notes page and inspiration in my daily life. Because the second you start getting a big head and kind of getting too in depth about, well, what if they think this and what if they think that, and this isn't as global, this is too specific to me, it's game over. Like, you need to keep on writing for you. I think it was Rick Rubin that said the best thing you can do for your fans is write music for yourself. And so I try to keep that as my standard.
I agree with that statement 100%, by the way. Rick Rubin knows what he's talking about. Plus, I was thinking, if you get a big head, there'll be trouble, but you also got your brother behind you who's going to slap you in the back.
And my uncle is my manager. So it's a full family operation going on here. Yeah.
I like that. Yeah. Making sure that you obviously think about the way that's going to translate live is important, but keeping it what it was that people... Yeah. The people from Canada and Australia and whatever who were digging around and listening to things online stuff, the things that they could sense in your music. You don't want to lose that, right?
Yes,
that purity.
Absolutely.
The purity. Yeah. That's kind of cool, man. Tell me about, if you don't mind, just those two singles that we know so well that we'll probably give a little bit of love to. A Lot More Free, where it came from.
Yeah, A Lot More Free was written about 3 or 4 months after probably the largest heartbreak and the most difficult heartbreak of my life. There was, a bit of dishonesty, and I don't go into too much depth about the specifics because I've forgiven her, I've forgiven myself. We've both healed from it, but it was a time of severe turmoil for me, and I've never felt that level of heartbreak ever, still to this day. And so A Lot More Free is a very all-encompassing song. It's so broad, and I actually, when it was initially written, I thought maybe it was too broad. I'm like, are people really gonna, because I'm writing it for this reason, but are people gonna know that, and are they gonna understand what it's written about? And the truth of the matter is, it doesn't matter if they know what it's written about, because it's real. Whatever they believe it resonates with, that's what it means to them. So A Lot More Free has been the incredible example of when you release a song, you give it to the people that listen to it. So
that's that Rick Rubin wisdom right there.
Yeah.
He wrote it for you.
There you go. Yeah. There you go. Yeah. So A Lot More Free was, written about heartbreak, written about a kind of relational betrayal situation. And then I hear stories now. I mean, it is just so much different than I ever could have possibly imagined. There's people that relate it to the loss of children, parents, like loved ones, and then divorce is huge. Like people that escaped unhealthy situations and had to have the strength to move forward and find that freedom. And then I think just from a sonic standpoint, I think the harmonica and the whistle are kind of subconsciously representative of heartbreak, pain, and freedom. So the harmonica is this kind of really harsh sound. It's really, it's like, it's almost, 5 different whistles at once through this instrument. And then the whistle is the definition of freedom. Like you think of just whistling, walking around, and you're like, that person is carefree, So I think that the sonic nature of the song mixed with the meaning behind the song and the broadness of the song made it do what it's doing. Now, Better Me For You is a much more lover boy song. It's written about my fiance, and it was really just an interview in the writing room. Ava Sepulso, one of the writers, was just, kind of intrigued by my relationship, and all I had going into that writing session was, I didn't know you'd have brown eyes. So that was it. That was in my notes page. Some songs start from just one sentence. And so the whole concept was, here I was doing this, wasn't happy with what I was doing. Then you came along. I didn't know what you were going to look like. I didn't know you'd have brown eyes. I didn't know you this. And so Ava was like, well, let's just talk about your girl then. She's my girlfriend at the time. And Ava was like, what are your favorite things about her? Go. I'm like, I love how strong she is in her faith. She loves Jesus. And so then that was the second line of the chorus. And then, I like that she's content being at home. She likes her shows and her, late night just tea and a little routine. And I think that's adorable. And so spending Friday nights at home. She's extremely tough. I was with her long distance through her grandmother's passing, and she was just the strongest person in the world. And so, strong kind, deeper than a coal mine. She feels so deeply. It's just a chorus about her. Yeah. And that was the opposite of A Lot More Free. I thought that may have been too specific to my situation. And boy, was I wrong. Yeah. I almost didn't single it. I actually I told my manager, who's my uncle Brandon, I was like, man, I don't know if I've just listened to this song too many times now, or if this is just kind of too specific and, written for my certain situation. And Brandon never vetoes anything. He's always like, you're the artist, you make your decisions. But this time he was like, you're insane. We're putting this out as a single. Yeah. And then the verses are, like I said, what I didn't want to be, who I was, and what I feel like finding her saved me from.
It's awesome, man. You really can't be too specific. I do know that. That's for sure. Having talked to a lot of songwriters over the years, a lot of people have told me that they wrote something in a room by themselves when they were dealing with something. You guys got to run? Yeah. They're dealing with something, and they're like, I never thought I was going to release it. I never thought I was going to let anybody else hear it because I thought it was so specific about this Tuesday afternoon when this weather was whatever, the specific. It was so specific. Yeah. And then it becomes this universal thing because they can hear the authenticity in it, the emotion in it, and just then apply their own life to it or use it to soak in.
Well, and a lot of people, one of the most difficult things, one of my songs, Night Diving, is about battling addiction, and it can really deal with, the song could technically encompass any affliction that keeps cropping back up, but the chorus is, I'm tired of running from the conversations, screaming in the silence all alone. That silence is such a key part of suffering. If you don't talk about it and you don't express what you're going through, then you're going to feel like you're alone in it. And when you're fighting alone, it is 10 times more difficult than if you're fighting with other people. And so when people think the song's too specific to them, maybe that's what other people have never said, and they need that more than anything because they can't feel the strength to say that themselves. And I think that's the music that I related to a lot growing up. Like, I don't know if you know the rapper NF, but his story is intense. And like, I don't relate to a lot of the very specific things about it, but it's the overarching themes and the hope, the messages of hope through survival that relate. And so, yeah, just to your point, specific is good, and I will keep being specific.
As you should, man. Yeah. And I tell you what, the word hope is important too. When I talk to people about country music and working in it for as long as I have, and the connections that we make with the people in it, hope is one of the words that pops up with me a lot, because that is what it's easy to get behind a genre that is, even if it's about something horrible that's happened, even if somebody's singing about addiction or they're singing about loss, or there's always hope in the music, right? Yeah. And that's certainly what people are connecting with your music, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was going to ask you what kind of music you listened to growing up. You mentioned some hip hop and rap in there.
Yeah. NF specifically, his lyricism is just really impressive to me. And I was an anxious teen, and high school was not super kind to me. And so he was definitely kind of my escape through that. I was also raised, one of the most nostalgic bands of my life is the Zac Brown Band. Huge for me. Jack Johnson, Amos Lee, Ray LaMontagne. Let's see, who else?
Some good stuff right there.
John Denver, huge for me. My mom loved John Denver's stuff, and so I grew up on a lot
Everybody's
of that.
Mom loves John Denver, by the way.
Yeah, so John Denver's huge. John Foreman of Switchfoot. And Matt Carney, he's an organ boy. I don't know if you're familiar with Matt Carney, but he was the only organ artist that I knew, so I attached to that.
That's awesome, man. Yeah. I love talking to you, man. Yeah. You've got a lot of wisdom in there. Your older brothers have beaten a lot of wisdom into you over the years.
And
I like
early.
this.
You just wait till I wake up more. I get even better.
No, I like this. I like this a lot, man. You got a good thing going on, and congratulations on the sellout here in Toronto. No surprise. You will be able to park your buses at the Rogers Centre and Scotiabank Arena very soon. I do believe, man.
Will that into existence?
Yeah. Well, it's going to happen. You just take your time. Enjoy the ride.
Yeah.
Thanks for doing this, man.
I appreciate it.